first time in 7 years, Cuse Nation. Look what we do. We get our season off on the right foot. What a nice way to start. Akron's the home of vulcanized rubber, and you see it on millions of cars here in the United States and throughout the world. But you know, the Orange decided to turn those zips into reclaimed rubber. And let's go into a few of the details, shall we? For the first time in a long time, the Orange decided to take the opening kickoff, and what they do, they moved with some great military-style precision down the field. Heck, the only thing that was missing was the cadence. Well, I'll make up one. I don't know what it's been said. I don't know what it's been said. Akron Zips as good as dead. Well, you can fill in the rest. But you know, no penalties. Some great running by DeLone Carter. Some great passing by Ryan Nassib, who looked pretty good playing quarterback there on that opening drive. And a nice little touchdown pass on a crossing route to our new recruit who came from Hofstra, Aaron Weaver. Weaver decided to get on his loom, and he spun his way on that crossing route to the end zone. And you know, he weaved a good path. Good show, Mr. Weaver. It was 7-0. Then the game kind of turned into a little back and forth punting thing between Akron and Syracuse. And then Ross Krautman got in, and I wonder, Krautman now the kicker, what happened to Lichtenstein? Maybe he couldn't get out of Vaduz in time. Oh wait, he was there on the sideline. But you know, you have to look that up in your atlas. You have to find out where Vaduz is. Because I'm not going to tell you. Maybe I will later. But Krautman, our highly touted kicker recruit, came in, boots a field goal, makes it 10-0 Orange. Akron did put on a little bit of the drive, especially after we started acting like we were Greg Robinson's team again, coughing up the ball a couple times, including an interception and a couple questionable fumbles, including one that was deep in Akron territory. Actually our territory. Akron picked it up at the 18, but you know, the Orange defense looked like a defense for the first time in a while. We really smothered Patrick Nicely and the rest of the Akron offense. We forced him into another 3-and-out and actually backed him up for that field goal attempt, where Igor, actually he didn't need to assist Dr. Frankenstein on that kick. Igor decided to kick it for Akron, make it 10-3. But then, coming down towards halftime, another nice little drive by Nassib in the Orange, including a couple of great catches by Van Charleston Chew. And I wonder, did the NCAA or whatever decide to allow Stickum back into the game? Everybody who knew football in the 60s and 70s remember Stickum. It was that gooey substance that a lot of wide receivers put on their hands to help them catch the ball. And probably the most notorious user of Stickum was one gritty wide receiver named Fred Biletnikoff. You gotta wonder, was Fred Biletnikoff on the sideline or whatever? Did he slide some Stickum into Chew's hands? Or did Van Chew decide to put some Charleston Chew on his hands? Well, whatever. Nice one-handed grab and a nice touchdown catch there. Almost a pretty acrobatic catch if you ask me. But he didn't need the flying Walindas to help him make that catch. 17-3 at the half. And then when the third quarter started, Igor, the kicker for Akron, decided to turn into Frankenstein on that kick. He got the he got the dreaded double thud. It goes off his foot, but a Syracuse player blocks it. And who's there? Mr. Holmes, who picks it up and zigzagged his way to the end zone to make it 23-3 Orange. And you see how he ran? He zigzagged. Only men can run with a zigzag. Women, they'll just run like Frankenstein. And I'm gonna bust an electrode for doing that. And I also busted an electrode on that 2-point conversion. What was Marone thinking? An extra point would have done just good. But the defense did its job, and of course the Orange aided one for good measure. The Lone Ranger Carter followed his buddy Tano into the end zone. And although they had to review that touchdown for a little while, it turned out to be a good one, Mr. Carter. 29-3, and that's how it ended. Of course, it almost was 36-3 on a bootleg that Nassib really sold. He got it all the way down to the 1-inch line before he was pushed out. But Marone didn't do what Randy Edsel did last year and decide to run up the score. Marone did the right thing by having Nassib take a knee. But the truth is, I wondered if Charlie Loeb was going to come in to have some playing time. The score was okay. I thought Loeb should have been in to get some PT. But maybe he didn't have his 9 stories on yet. But whatever, it was a hell of a way for the Orange to open the season. A beautiful 29-3 trouncing of the Akron Zips. And what's next for the Orange? A big one. Traveling out to good old Seattle, Washington to take on those Huskies from Washington in Husky Stadium. And one of the players they're going to key in on, the guy who potentially is the #1 pick in next year's NFL draft, Jake Locker. This kid is the real deal. Of course, Orange fans like me remember, in his first career start, he shredded the Orange when the Huskies played at the Dome in one of those defeats that happened way too often with Greg Robinson, a 42-12 trouncing. But you know, this Locker may be in for quite a surprise. Because you know, Washington lost to BYU. And this Locker might be on the ropes as far as a Heisman consideration. And maybe Syracuse's defense can put him into the meat locker, if you know what I mean. And what about their running back, Chris Polk? He was a great freshman sensation running for over 1,000 yards. But you know, they're going to turn this Chris into Polk said it, ain't he? The Orange got you, Granny. Everybody said it was a shame. 'Cause the Orange gonna make 'em work on a chain gang. A mean, vicious man. Oh, where's my guitar? Tony Joe White borrowed it. Oh well. What a way to start, Orange fans. I'm Ken Haas. That's my story. And let's keep it going, Orange.